Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a game recap of Caufield and Team USA's mighty win over Team Finland. Now, this was just an exhibition game for this year's World Juniors. The true games don't start until Christmas Day on the 25th, but we saw an exhibition game tonight versus Team Finland, and the big guys for Team USA really did put on a show. But what does this mean for Caufield and Team USA throughout the rest of the tournament, and what can we expect with Caufield from this great game and in the next few games as well? Watch till the end for the full game recap and all the prospect analysis, and hit that subscribe button as well for more World Juniors and draft content just like this one. 70% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed, so get on it, join the Grav Gang. We'd love to have you here. Now, when it comes to the game itself, Team USA ended up winning 3-2. That was the final score, and it was a pretty close one throughout. Team Finland actually took a 1-0 lead to start out. It was just a great goal set up by Leafs prospect Heinola, and it was a 1-0 lead for Team Finland. But the USA team kind of struck back a little bit then at first and ended up tying it all up. Arthur Kaliev with just a beautiful shot from the point of the slot, and it was just bang, bang, right in there, almost no time at all. Kaliev scores and ties it 1-1. And if I recall correctly, that's all we'd see until the second period, where yours truly for the Montreal Canadiens, Caufield, just absolutely tore it up. The first goal was just insane. Obviously, the big setup pass was by Trevor Zegras, who just had a dominant game. We'll get into him in a second, but that pass was just right to a tee to Caufield, who came from the right side, ended up going to the left wing side, ended up potting it home on the one-timer, Alex Ovechkin style, and put it right home into the goal. It was basically set up by Trevor Zegras completely, but Caufield topped it off with a beautiful shot and just a beautiful overall play there by Team USA. And 35 seconds later, basically, Caufield said, hey, I like this goal scoring thing, and he does like the goal scoring thing quite a bit. You've seen that throughout his career, but especially in this game, he likes scoring them goals. In the second time around, it was just all Caufield. It was a great setup by Jake Sanderson, who put it behind the net, or actually was by the point, then put it behind the net off the boards. Caufield picked it up, swerved around the net, trying to evade the pressure. He just gets an absolute rocket of a backhand shot. One of the best backhand goals I think I've ever seen, and it was absolutely perfectly placed. The Finnish goaltender had no idea what the heck was happening, and honestly, that's a mood for me. That's a mood for me personally. If I was going against Caufield's shot, that would be what I would feel as well. And it was a 3-1 USA lead. Then Toppy Nemiel for the Leafs ended up making 3-2, and that would just be your final score. They would go into the third period, no goals would happen, but Caufield, I will say, was all over the ice. I think he had about as good of a game as you could have gotten. He started off on the fourth line for Team USA, obviously worked his way up more and more, but the guy was just dominant every single shift. Obviously, the shift that he scored 2 goals was pretty good, but honestly, all of his shifts, you can notice him right off the bat, and he had multiple times where he could have gotten a hat-trick goal. There was great opportunities in the first period. Obviously, that second period was really the way he got going with those 2 goals that he potted home. But just throughout the whole game, he was all over the ice. He had almost a breakaway, though Matthew Boldy kind of whiffed on the pass. He could have had this third goal there. There was some insane chances in the third period for him to get the hat trick. He was all over the place, and in a very good way. Offensively, was always in the right position, always making the right plays, and that's what you want to see. I mean, in Wisconsin, we've seen him play very well under the circumstances that he's been in, and Wisconsin's a weird team just in general. Last year in the World Juniors, Caufield had some pretty bad teammates and guys like Jack Drury and Johnny Beecher, who are really not fits at all for him. But this game was much different. He got with some better line mates, and especially on the power play, you could see him absolutely ride. This is a player that, for the Montreal Canadiens, is just going to be fantastic, especially on that power play, and you could see that throughout this game, and I think you will see that throughout the tournament. But there's a lot of other players that you should know about that were insane in this game. For Team Finland, there was some pretty big standouts. Obviously, Heinola got 2 points in the night, 1 goal and 1 assist. He was great as well. I thought Ville Heinola was as good as ever, and you had some pretty good standouts as well. Brad Lambert looked very, very good, which we already knew, or I already knew, as I've discussed on this channel. Brad Lambert is the absolute man. Could go first overall in 2022, but I do think Shane Wright likely gets that spot. He's likely the number 2 guy, but Anton Lundell was also incredible, especially as the game progressed. His offensive skills really shined, and you can see the skating that he's really improved upon that's lent himself to such a great year in the league thus far. He's just been great, and you could see in this first game, right off the gate, just how good he really is, and he really led Team Finland in a lot of chances offensively and defensively as well. He was as good as advertised, and truly the captain of that Finland team. Now, in terms of what we saw throughout the game in general, there was a lot of power plays, a lot of craziness there, but when I look at just the end result, I don't think Team USA should only have a 1-goal lead. I think Finland was kind of exposed in some areas defensively, even on offense sometimes, where they're just not as deep as they were last year or the year before. This really isn't one of Finland's best teams over the past few seasons, and I think you saw that today. Even though it was a closer score of 3-2, it just was Team USA's game throughout most of the game. The little bit of the start of the first period, I would say Finland looked very good, especially, of course, on that first goal. But it seemed like once Finland scored that first goal, it was just off the rails for Team USA in a good way, and they just went absolutely nuts. I mean, I'll list off some of the guys that I think were incredible. Obviously, we got Caufield, the main man who scored 2 goals. He had honestly, he had like 10 brilliant grade A scoring chances in this game. It felt like he was just fantastic. But I'll go through a little bit of the lineup for Team USA, and there was just so many guys that were so good. Trevor Zegras, as I mentioned before, honestly, in some areas, I think had an even better game than Caufield. I've talked about him so much. He was 5th overall in my mock draft in 2019, ended up dropping to the Anaheim Ducks 9th overall. Definitely one of the biggest steals of that draft. I love him. I loved him in last year's World Juniors and how just so perfect he was. This year, it seems like he's even better and even more prepared. His vision is so exceptional. His passing is some of the best I've seen out of my time in covering prospects. He's just an absolute magician, and I think you'll see that throughout the rest of the World Juniors, as you saw last year, and hopefully very soon with the Anaheim Ducks too. There was a few other standouts in terms of the forwards for Team USA. Matthew Beniers, who's a 2021 eligible, has been fantastic with the University of Michigan so far this year, has just put up a great game. I mean, I really liked what I saw. He was also kind of like an Anton Lundell, where he was a much more noticeable player the longer you went into the game, but he had a few rushes in that third period that were insane. There was one chance where he just turned an opportunity right in the slot out of nothing. He went from like the blue line, able to swerve around the defenseman, get right in the middle, and try to get a shot off. That I don't think there was any goal. There obviously wasn't any goal in that, but it was a prime, grade A scoring chance, pretty much all created by him. And you could see his speed and his talents really coming into fruition, which is great to see. He has a real opportunity to rise his stock in the World Juniors, and by the time this thing is over, I could see him being looked at as a consensus top 5 pick, which, if I'm being real, probably should be what it is already. There was a few other standouts too. Obviously, Arthur Kaliyev got the first goal. He looked solid. That first goal was a little bit of a gimme. There was no pressure on him whatsoever, but he just rocketed it home, and just a fantastic shot on Kaliyev as always. Brett Berard from the New York Rangers, I thought looked very good. Patrick Monahan was very solid overall. Alex Turcotte could have gotten 2 goals. He was robbed of an empty net goal, and also I think he got a shot off the post, which sucked because it was a beautiful placement, just not quite where it needed to be. And he's a guy that also I thought looked pretty good, especially as the game went on. Bobby Brink I thought was solid. Brandon Brisson was solid as well. That power play was interesting. Matthew Boldy is another guy that I thought had a decent game, but that power play was weird because it almost felt like they should have scored more goals, and it felt like sometimes it was kind of disjointed. They got the job done a couple of times, but still in the end it kind of felt like it needed some more work, and I feel like you can kind of tell with this USA team that they still need more time to fully come together as a group. I think this win, though, is especially important. You could obviously see some guys really gelling together. Trevor Zegras and Caufield is a humongously obvious fit that needs to happen throughout the rest of this tournament. So I think you will see some improvement going into next game, but honestly, This win was pretty important for Team USA, and I'm pretty optimistic as a USA fan with this win. Not just because of the score and obviously the win against Finland, but I just felt like how they played as the game went on, how they were able to dominate in pretty much all areas was a big factor. The one thing that I'm kind of scared a little bit about is the goaltending, especially that first goal that Spencer Knight gave up. It was not pretty whatsoever. It was point blank. He had some pressure around him, but he saw the puck and still let it go 5-hole. Not the greatest look. The second goal was a lot less his fault, but there was a lot of screens in front, a lot of pressure. Still in the end, though, not a goal you'd like to see him give up, but still at the same time, Dustin Wolf came out at the end of the game and was solid as well. So I still think with some more time and with some more confidence, we'll see both of them do very well for Team USA. But just in general, I really enjoyed this win, and I'm just really enjoying watching hockey again, man. It's been far too long. It's felt like we were on. Honestly, this offseason felt like we were on pause because basically nothing happened. But now we're back with hockey. It's like the bubble hockey came right back in whenever it was, freaking August, I can't even remember. But now it's December. Now we're back with World Junior Hockey, which in my opinion is some of the most exciting hockey you'll ever watch. And for an exhibition game that didn't mean anything whatsoever, we saw some incredible play from guys like Caufield and overall Team USA looking very fine. And for Team Finland, I think there is some bright spots. The big guys that they needed to shine really did show themselves. Anton Lundell was great. Brad Lambert was great. The defense and guys like Ville Heinola were really solid. So I think Finland does have some potential. I don't think they'll be too great in this tournament. Team USA, I think, has a much better chance to win that gold medal, but we'll see what happens. I think Team USA is looking good right now. If they can figure out those lines, figure out those placements, and stop overthinking things too much. No Caufield in the bottom 6, please. I think we'll see Team USA hopefully do pretty well. Honestly, if they get a top 3 spot, I'll be pretty content with that, and hopefully a gold medal comes in the future. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let me know if you want more recaps just like this one in the comments, but let me know what you thought of this game and what you think of the performances thus far for Team USA and guys like Caufield. Are you excited about them and seeing them throughout this tournament? Make sure you share this video with your friends, get it out there, and click on this card as well for all my hockey prospect content right on playlist. My name is Nathan. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video or stream. Goodbye.